We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity in the Top Gun boot camp training. And we've got two amazing individuals on with myself today, and they're both in Top Gun. And like it's impossible to put into words. Top Gun is a dream of mine that I've had for over 30 years. And so I'm welcome. So, you go down through which of the four levels should you join at? Well, first off, anybody can join at the basic, and that's anybody, everybody. Like everybody's in sales. Like as children, like if you're a parent, you want your child to go ahead and learn how to sell, sell themselves, sell their ideas. Like when you're an employee in a company, the one who gets advanced, the one who advances in a company is not the one who has the best ideas. The one who advances within a company is the one who knows how to sell their ideas, because the greatest idea in the world is not worth anything if it's not implemented. If you don't know how to sell it, it's not worth anything. And then the worst idea, if it's implemented, you'll learn something from it. So Nora is in the Top Gun. So she's in the highest level. Amy's in the advanced. And then Bella's going to be in the intermediate. So, and then Aaron's going to be in the basic. And so you'll get a feel for all of them. You can, when you join, if as a salesperson, you're going to be like, which level should I join at? And you can join from the basic and then move up, obviously, depending on your experience and where you're at, what you want. So you have to test out to get into the higher levels. Like you have to be evaluated. This is like the one room schoolhouse, like where the older are teaching the younger, the skilled are teaching the younger ones. And so, Amy, you're going into this program, and you're putting two of your team members they're joining into the program as well. Why are you so excited about the Top Gun, and what would you like it to do for you and your team and your network?
I'm super excited because as business owners, we always have to sell our services, even if you have a team. And I think business owners neglect sales most of anything. Even if you're in a referral network like I am, at the end of the day, you still have to make sales. And we all get stuck, and we all need to be reminded of the basics sometimes, but we can always sharpen our skills, and we should always be learning.
In the pre-show, and you always come early and always stay late. And so in the higher end, you get one-on-one attention. You get to go ahead and participate in weekly live sessions. The ones that are the lower level, you get attention, but it's not going to be the same type of attention, same level of attention, those type of things. And so we were talking in the pre-show. So if you do have the ability to participate in a live session, you want to do that. You always come early, always stay late, because that's where all the cool stuff is. And so we're talking in the pre-show about football. So Amy, share that, because I have a real life story that's the exact same story as that. So share your story.
Yeah, you've heard the story where the football coach is like making the professional players or the college players tie their shoes, right? It's basic. And why they're complaining that they're learning how to tie their shoe. But what you don't want is your shoe to come untied during a play, right? You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to get injured. You want to be able to run the ball or throw the ball, get it down the field to score. So going to the basics and starting with that helps you be better overall. And sometimes we try to skip the basics.
Right? We get started. Like when you're first started in sales, you don't know anything. So what you do is you tend to ask a lot of questions because you don't know anything. But when we get skilled, when we get into the higher levels, then I got this down, and we skip the questions. We don't understand the magic of the questions. And so all of a sudden our sales plateau or go down, and we wonder why. It's because we're missing the basics. And so one of the individuals years ago, I was in the mortgage industry, and as a loan officer, promoted to regional manager and then VP of sales. And Dan Graham was one of the new recruits that we brought in. And Dan, he played professional football for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His brother played, Ken Graham played, he was a quarterback. And Dan, for the New York Giants. And Dan, big guy. I mean, like it's crazy how he's just amazing guy. And so I asked him, I said, Dan, what's the difference between the playing college at a high level and playing football? And he said, it's the speed of the game. Everything's faster. So one of the hardest things to teach salespeople Like I find the best salespeople in the world, bar none, are elementary education teachers because they know how to ask questions. They're often women. They know how to ask questions. Then they listen really careful, and then they communicate. Like in a way, sales isn't that complicated, but but it is. And so it's all of this. So you're gonna whichever level you go into, you're gonna do amazing. And so Dan, I asked him, I said, so tell me a little, like, tell me about your experience. He says, well, it was strange. When I joined Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he said, the first day of camp, like the first day, and he said, all the brand new rookies, like the brand new ones, all the way to the ones making hundreds of millions of dollars, they all did the first thing. First thing. I'm like, okay, well, what was that? And he's like, they all tied their shoes. The coach, so it's true story. I'm like, that's fascinating. Why is that? He's like, Mark, like, essentially, when you play football, you're a trained killer. Like these guys hit so hard with so much force. You don't have your shoe tie. You can die, literally. Like it's not figure. Like you stumble, you don't have it, and so it doesn't matter. So it's going back to the basics. And so if you're one of those really hot salespeople, you think you're hot stuff. Well, maybe not so much. And so in this program, we're all equal. Like it doesn't matter what level you're at. It doesn't matter what level you're at. We're all equal. And we're all helping one another. So if you really want to learn something, teach it. And so you'll get to know the three of us if you go through this. And hopefully you'll be as excited for the opportunity for you as, I am for you. My background is in sales, so I have 3 degrees in business, 1 in finance, 1 in management, 1 in marketing. I was married when I was a sophomore in college, and my wife and I went through college together. She got her elementary education degree and graduated, and I had 6 job offers coming out of college, and the only job I knew I didn't want was sales because I didn't like salespeople, and I knew I wouldn't be good at sales. My personality is pretty much like take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. And I love people. I just don't like them. I don't like them at all. I don't like being around people, and people don't like being around me, which is fine because it works out good for both. So I'm like, that's the worst thing. And so in addition to that, it was 100% straight commission position that I took. In addition to that, it was a little tiny mortgage company, Preferred Mortgage Associates in the Chicago area. They'd only been in business for 2 years. They gave me 2 days of training and said, Mark, go out and sell. So I did. It's exactly as I thought it was. I was an epic failure. The first 3 months, I made $1 an hour. We decided to start a family actually before I got the offer. So my wife was 3 months pregnant, and we bought a house at the same time. So you obviously know that it was a successful story. Otherwise, I wouldn't be telling it to you. And so I started with a company, and we bought a house, but we couldn't afford drapes. So we had to put bed sheets on it. Those are the most awesome stories. After 3 months, I did everything. And this is what, like Tom Kuntz, past president of Century 21, man, it'd be great to have him as a guest. He had 140,000 sales agents, top real estate franchise in the world, Century 21, past president of that, in over 70 different countries. And he said, trust the integrity of the system. And we often, when we get started doing something in the basic sales, we have to trust it. So we do. And then all of a sudden we get too big for our britches and then we level out. Mm-hmm. And so Amy had shared in the pre-show that, often that as we get more advanced, we're going to go ahead and forget some of the basics. And I found that to be true. So I did everything I was told to do. I mean, I was like the best student in the world. I didn't question it. Just did everything, and it didn't work. It did not work. So I went to the president's office, and my wife is 6 months pregnant. I pounded on his desk. I'm like, Tony, Tony, I'm doing everything you guys are telling me to do. It's not working. I'm making $1 an hour. That's an issue because my wife now is 6 months pregnant. He kind of is like, well, Mark, it takes 12 to 18 months to really be successful. They didn't tell me that day one. but whatever. Like I'm not whining. It's like, well, what he says, well, what do you think you ought to do? I said, well, I think I ought to do this, this, and this. He said, well, go do it. Okay, I will. And so I did. And so it took me a month to come up with the first one. So you know, I'm not the sharpest tool in the tool shed. I'm not very smart. And so, but I'm like, well, what are you good at, Mark? I'm like, well, I'm good at studying smart people, figuring out how to put it into a system, and then I'll just clone that bad boy. So I came up with the first tool, and I said, you need a tool, Mark. You need tools to be successful in sales because you're not good and you don't like people. And you know what? The people don't like you. So you got to have tools. So I came up with that first tool. So I'd been out there for 4 months dying. I mean, dying. And so then I went ahead and went out there with that first tool, accomplished more in a week than I had in 4 months. 6 months after I joined that company, I was promoted to a regional manager, but still doing straight commission sales. 6 months after that, marketing manager. And a year and a half after that, offered a position as vice president of sales with an equity position in the company. And so we grew that company from one of the smallest in Illinois to one of the largest in the Midwest. Sales is everybody's in sales. Like I think you're going to go ahead and say to your children, get into this program. That's why it's been priced at the basic level. Like anybody can go in. And so,
Well, yeah, think about those students too with NIL money now. They're
right,
literally trying to sell themselves. Colleges are recruiting them, but they need businesses and sponsors to help fund that, right?
right. I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy. And so, I had a goal when I went ahead and started in when I started, I had a goal of reaching six figure income, being in C-level, executive level management within 7 years. I was able to accomplish that goal in 18 months. When I left that company to start now I own 9 companies. I have an extra 20 to 30 hours of free time a week. So I have so much free time, I don't even know what to do with it. And it's because of sales. I know how to sell and I know how to build systems. And that's what we want. That's our passion, is for you to have the life that you want, no matter what it is. And if you're a business owner, you want all of your people to go through this. There'll be different focuses that you'll be able to have. And so when I left that company at the age of 27, I was on track to make $460,000 a year and $1 million in equity. And I walked away from all of that to go ahead and start a company, to pursue my life vision, my dreams. And so Top Gun is so much more than just about sales or business or leadership. It's about life as well. Any other comments or thoughts, Amy, that you have?
Well, Mark, remember when we were looking at my discovery meeting and we had tweaked it this year and we wondered why we weren't getting our deals closed? And it was a reminder to go back to what we've been using, right? Because
Right,
sometimes we try to improve a system that actually is a disadvantage in the long run. So,
right,
and because of
right.
you guys, we were able to point that out and pinpoint that was one of our issues.
Nice, nice. Well, we all need that. Like, and that's really what this is. It's a community of people, and I can learn, like if you really want to go ahead. Now I have, 7 kids and 11 grandkids and another one on the way. And the best, my best teachers in sales are my grandkids. They know how to man, do kids know how to go ahead and get what they want to do. Nora, any thoughts that you have, anything you want to share?
No, I would say, yeah, like the basics, like going back to the basics is great. The advantage of being in, the actual Top Gun is I would say probably the accountability is one of the biggest things. Like it's like, every day, like it's like that little push that you sometimes need in sales, because when it's like things just aren't working, or you're kind of in a little bit of a slump, you could say, like you still have that accountability to like keep you going, if that makes sense, like to keep you making the calls, and like you can't not make calls, right? Because you have to
Right.
report. So it helps with that for
Neat.
sure.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and learn next. And so you can think about this. And so, um, like, what's your wow income goal? Like, write this down. Like, have a journal just for Top Gun. So write down your WOW income goal right now. My WOW income goal over the next 12 months is this. Don't make it impossible, but definitely don't make it reasonable. So make it to where it's going to stretch you. What's your minimum income goal? Write that down. How many hours are you currently working a week? Write that down. And how many hours would you ideally like to be working? There's going to be systems and tools will help you build, will be systems and tools at the different level that you'll be introduced to and given to. There will be, we'll teach you how to do things. And so much of it's psychology. It's how we think. So what's the difference in sales between making 100,000 and 250,000? It's how we think. 250 to 500,000. It's how we think. It's how we think. So if you look at the difference between your WOW income goal and your minimum income goal, that's what we call the subconscious gap. The difference between what you're currently working now, what you want to be working, that's the subconscious gap. See, your subconscious knows what your potential is. It really does. Your subconscious is great at revealing what your potential is, but it's terrible at telling you how. Like, I want to make whatever that number is for you. I want to make 100,000. I want to make 1,000,000, whatever that is. Your subconscious is great at telling you, you can do this, you can do that, but it's not good at telling you how. And that's really what Top Gun is all about. And so if you don't think, you're going to be assigned what's called a ART, A-R-R-T, an atomic ripple reaction tree mentor. So every member will get one mentor, and you'll get two buddies. And you think your mentor is going to teach you more than your buddies, like you think your parents taught you more than anybody else. But when you have kids, you learn your kids taught you a lot more than your parents did. And so that's how it is here too. So we're community. It's an amazing community. We're all equal. It doesn't matter what level you're at. And we're all here to be able to help you and one another accomplish your dreams and goals and your life vision, what you were created to become. So always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.